Hello, I'm Richard Halls. I do a YouTube program each week. It's about 10 minutes in length, and my purpose is to share a passage of Scripture, some reflective thoughts, and hopefully even challenge you. I realize not everyone necessarily needs a program of this sort, but there is something we all need, and I want to share that with you today. It's the need of walking. I was talking to a friend of mine recently who told me that his dad, who was 87 years old, walks 1.5 miles every day. I used to walk long distances, sometimes 5 miles a day. I don't do it anymore because I feel that there's not enough time. Too many other things to do. But when I asked this friend of mine why his dad took these long walks, his comment was very interesting. And he said, it's because he knows there will be a day when he can't walk anymore. This program deals with walking, but it deals not only with physical walking, while that's important, but spiritual walking. The Bible records that the great people of God walked with God. Noah, Abraham, Enoch, and Adam. It specifically says they walked with God. I don't know if you have an exercise program or not, but there is nothing that I feel that is more important, and this is my own personal opinion, than to take time to walk with God. We realize that we're not going to be around on this earth forever. There's a time when this walk is all over. But while we're here, we need to have communion and fellowship with God. At least that's my prejudice. Because the world, as the book says, is too much with us. The demands, the trials, the tribulations, the fears, the uncertainties, they're all around us every day. But taking time to walk with God can be very therapeutic and very helpful. I find that that is true with my life. When I'm disturbed, depressed, discouraged, if I feel down and unwanted and unworthy, I think of walking with God. I simply tell him about all my problems. Maybe it's an escape, but it's a good escape for me. And I'd like to suggest the same could be true for you. The escape idea is found in the Psalms. God is our refuge, a place of retreat, a place of comfort, a place to simply be in the presence of God. So walking with God on this journey of life can be most important. Now, there's one thing we realize, and I've already made mention of it, and that is we're not going to be around on this earth forever. And that was true of Moses. Moses was one of God's heroes. He started out as a shepherd, ran away from the Egyptians after killing one for his own life. He meets a man who has daughters, and he gets married to one of the daughters out in the desert. But then God calls him to go to Egypt and to lead his people out of slavery into the promised land. Moses does that, but it's not without trouble. The people are obstinate, complainers. They give him a hard time. Like sometimes we get in life as we go through life and accepting the challenges that come before us. It's not easy. It can be very hard. Moses found that to be true. And one day, Moses got so angry that when God told him to speak to a rock to give water to the people, Moses in anger and rage takes his rod and he hits the rock. That cost him dearly. I want to read that account with you today because this is the last walk that Moses is going to take on this earth. There will be a time when we have our last walk too. And what's going to happen when we finally reach that point where we're not going to go back home, where things will be at an end? And that happened to Moses. So let me share with you today from the book of Deuteronomy. I read these words, the 34th chapter. Then Moses climbed Mount Nebo from the plains of Moab to the top of Pisgah, across from Jericho. There the Lord showed him the whole land from Gilead to Dan, all of Naphtali, the territory of Ephraim and Manasseh, all the land of Judah as far as the western sea, the Negev, and the whole region from the valley of Jericho, the city of palms, as far as Zor. Then the Lord said to him, "This is the land I promised an oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob when I said, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you will not cross over into it." Then Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in Moab, as the Lord said. This is kind of a strange story in so many ways. In some ways, I feel Moses got cheated. He tried to do his best, as many of us do. But there comes a time when we reach the end of the road and there's no more walking. Like Moses, God brings us to that point when it's all over. It's called the last walk. Something happens in the last walk. Maybe we have an opportunity to just kind of survey our lives. Take a look at what we've done. Some things are wonderful. We can feel accomplished, satisfied, fulfilled. But then there's a time too when we reflect about all the things that we wish we'd have done. Many things maybe which we shouldn't have done. And subsequently, sometimes life is not as fulfilled as we would like to have had it. Moses would like to have entered into the promised land, but God said he couldn't. Just as is true, I think, for you and for me. There are things which we wish we'd have done, and maybe because we were on the wrong side of the fence, we didn't. Made mistakes, failures, and consequently, we didn't have as much of a fulfilled and satisfied life as we would have liked to. That happened to Moses. It might happen to you. It will happen to me. Because already there are so many things that I wish that I had done, but things got in the way. Problems, anger, frustration. So I will not see as complete a life as I might have. But let's not despair over that, because I want to share one great truth with you today. And that is what we have not been able to fulfill. Christ, whose birthday we're celebrating, by the way, this month, December, has fulfilled it for us. All that which we lack, he fulfills. So today, friends, you might be on that last walk, that last journey of life, and you might be surveying much of what you've done and felt, maybe I could have done more. But let's not despair. God has brought us this far, and we can be thankful for that. I pray you'll have a wonderful week, that you had a great Thanksgiving, and that your month of December will be great. I'll be back again next week, God willing, to share another YouTube program. Have a great day.